I've been shallow water diving before and it's a pretty chill experience. I wonder what those deep divers found. Number 10, an ancient computer. That's right, the Anticathedral Mechanism probably existed long before Microsoft or Apple. It is thought to be the oldest example of a computer and was found on the Anticathedral shipwreck off the coast of the Greek island of the same name, somewhere between 1900 and 1901. The Anticathedral is an analog computer that was created to do a number of tasks, including forecasting eclipses and astronomical positions. Since so much of this era's technological innovations have been lost to time, such sophisticated technological applications did not reappear in European historical artifacts until the 14th century. The National Archaeological Museum of Athens is now showing it. Number 9, rocket engines. Several Apollo rockets were launched into orbit around the Earth and Moon in the late 1960s and early 1970s, and their engines, which propelled each booster's first stage, fell to the ocean floor, where they were thought to have vanished forever. However, they have finally been found owing to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos and his privately funded operation. The parts were found in 2012 and have been restored over the course of 2 years. They are now at display at Seattle, Oregon, United States, at the Museum of Flight. Although the motivation for Bezos' decision to contribute millions of his own funds to the project is unclear, the press has speculated that he did it merely because he could. Number 8, the world's oldest city. Some researchers think that the ruins of a lost city that was thought to be the oldest city ever unearthed were found in the Gulf of Cambay off the coast of India in 2001. Sculpture fragments, human remains, works of art, and even wooden furniture have been among the artifacts discovered. One piece of wood that was inspected was believed to be at least 9,500 years old. Scientists and archaeologists are still trying to figure out exactly what time period the city would have been in, which is shrouded in mystery. Number 7, a train yard. A locomotive cemetery was found in 1985 off the American state of New Jersey. Since they were erected in the 1850s, neither the reason they were dumped into the ocean nor the fact that they existed at all were known. According to historians, they either accidentally fell off a barge or were intentionally flung off a ship to prevent it from sinking in choppy waters. They are rusty but still in excellent shape and have grown to be a well-liked location for wreck diving. Number 6, American Stonehenge? Okay, so this wasn't discovered in the ocean, it was actually found in a lake, but it's still very strange. A group of stones organized in the form of a circle were found in Lake Michigan in 2007 at a depth of around 40 feet. Pictures show that they aren't all that different from other weird stone configurations found around the world, especially when compared to Stonehenge, England. However, their purpose, age, and significance are all still unknown. Number 5, treasure. In 2010, Florida amateur treasure hunter Jay Miskovich found more than 10,000 emeralds off the shore of Key West. He believed he had found the jackpot of a lifetime because they are thought to be worth $500 million, and his find garnered national attention. When the federal government of the United States learned of this, they gave him temporary possession of the diamonds, preventing him from lawfully selling them. Unfortunately, Miskovich ended his own life in 2013 due to financial ruin and his inability to cash in on his fortune. The ownership of the treasure has not yet been determined in court. Number 4, an ancient city in Egypt. Under the sea, the ancient city of Alexandria, which Cleopatra reigned as Egypt's last pharaoh, is almost entirely intact. It is thought that a number of natural calamities, such as earthquakes and tidal waves, caused the city to submerge underwater. It was unearthed in 1998 after being hidden for nearly 1,600 years. Recently, there have been plans to construct underwater tubes all across the city, turning it into the first underwater museum in the world. Number 3, a UFO? In 2011, the Baltic Sea anomaly was found by the self-funded treasure hunting company Ocean X. It is an oddly formed rock formation that is located on the floor of the northern Baltic Sea, and many people have suggested that it looks like an alien saucer. Other theories have suggested that it could be the ruins of a German submarine base or perhaps an anti-submarine device from WW2. But according to a number of scientists, despite its peculiar look, it is probably just an odd rock formation generated by good old Mother Nature, and it is highly doubtful that it was built by humans or extraterrestrials. Number 2. Sea monsters. We can now dive and transmit cameras further into the water than ever before, and some of the most bizarre findings have been sea critters with incredibly bizarre appearances, also known as sea monsters. Just observe the appropriately titled blobfish. This creature, which dwells at the ocean's lowest bottom, is typically only observed by people while diving or if they are unintentionally captured in deep sea fish nets. Number 1. The RMS Republic. It may not seem strange that the RMS Republic was discovered and explored in 1981, but it is strange that there may be treasure at the bottom of the ocean. Many people think that the ship perished carrying valuable materials, some of which could be valued up to $1 billion today. She allegedly had gold coins worth at least $250,000 in the United States, according to one rumor, or $3 million as a loan to the Imperial Russian government, according to another. Martin Bay Earl and his son Grant have teamed up to search for the treasure in billion-dollar wreck after failing to do so in the 1980s. They are determined to find it and take ownership of it. I'm fairly certain that these were kept secret for a reason. Number 10. Ballista Balls. The Greco-Roman ballista, which was used by the Roman military, was a larger scale crossbow-like weapon that could fire arrows or stones. On the Israeli-Syrian border, archaeological work was being done in 1989. These ballista balls were discovered next to what appeared to be a ballista's wreckage. Years later, in 1995, some Roman war artifact ammo was taken from the location without anyone noticing the theft. After some time had passed, in 2015, 3 rock balls that matched those discovered in the excavations of 1989 turned up with a note in the courtyard of an Israeli museum. This message, purportedly written by the burglar, said that he had terrible luck since stealing the ballista balls and thought they were cursed objects. Unconfirmed accounts state that among the tragedies the author lists, he mentions that ruin descended upon him since his successful business abruptly came to an end when the rocks entered his life. It is also claimed that he was later abandoned by his family and had to sell off a lot of his belongings in order to pay off debts and stay out of bankruptcy before realizing the cause of his issues. Number 9. Pompeii Loot. The ancient Roman city of Pompeii was obliterated in 79 AD when Mount Vesuvius erupted. Many senators and wealthy Romans purchased homes in this city, which was south of Naples, mostly as summer vacations. However, a volcanic eruption on August 24, 79 AD completely covered the city in volcanic ash. The earliest excavations in the area were carried out during the 18th century by the Spanish engineer Roque Joaquin de Alcubierre. By the following century, the city had been made accessible to the general public thanks to ongoing excavation operations. Annual allegations of looting are widespread, according to curators, custodians, and other local personnel. In their pursuit of one-of-a-kind or unusual souvenirs, tourists remove artifacts or pieces of monuments from the area, distributing a piece of Pompeii around the globe. The Pompeii Archaeological Superintendence receives roughly 100 shipments per year containing artifacts purportedly stolen from the city, and here's where the mythical curse of Pompeii starts. Most come with notes explaining the misfortune their owners have experienced. Number 8. The Ring of Seneshanis. This Roman ring weighs 12 grams and is inscribed in Latin, Senescane vivas in Deum. When a researcher was preparing an inventory of the artifacts in his care in 1929, he accidentally discovered some intriguing and sinister details that gave the lost ring new meaning. These details connected the ring to the discoveries of an archaeological dig. The early 1900s saw the completion of these archaeological projects at a location called Lydney, only 80 miles from the site where the ring was discovered. At the location, archaeologists discovered a tablet on which a Roman called Silvianus reported the theft of his ring to Nodens, the Celtic god of healing and hunting. He also prayed to the god to punish the perpetrator because he knew who it was. It was written on the stone, "May he who bears the name of Seneshanis not have health until he brings the ring back to the temple of Nodens." Number 7. The Hope Diamond. There are strong indications that such fabrications serve to heighten the mystery and appeal of this stone because increased publicity typically increases the gem's value and newsworthiness. The diamond has long been associated with a mythical curse that is said to bring tragedy and misfortune to anyone who owns or wears it. Many reports claimed that the Hope Diamond's original form was taken from an eye of a statue of the Hindu goddess Sita in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The specific legends about the Hope Diamond's cursed origin were created in the early 20th century to add mystique to the stone and increase its sales appeal as well as increase newspaper sales. However, similar to other curses, this general type of legend was most likely the independent creation of Western authors during the Victorian era. Number 6. Books. A book might have taken years to produce in the Middle Ages. A scribe would spend hours each day carefully constructing letters by hand while hunched over his copy table in natural light solely because lights pose too great a risk to the volumes. Copying hurts, according to one scribe. It extinguishes the light from the eyes, it bends the back, it crushes the viscera and the ribs. It brings forth pain to the kidneys and weariness to the whole body. Scribes and book proprietors had a great motive to preserve their work given the enormous amount of labor that went into generating books. They employed the one tool they had, language. Scribes and book owners would inscribe dramatic curses that threatened thieves with anguish and misery if they were to steal or harm these priceless works of art at the opening or end of books. The worst penalties they were aware of, excommunication from the church and a torturous, excruciating passing, were used without hesitation. Number 5. The Stolen Amethyst. This amethyst has only brought its owners anguish and destruction since it was stolen out of India during the rebellion of 1857. The stone, also known as the cursed amethyst or, somewhat misleadingly, the Delhi purple sapphire, is currently kept in the Natural History Museum's vault in London with other priceless gems, including a Martian meteorite and a Medusa emerald. It was not allowed to be taken from the bank safe until 3 years after the last owner's passing because he had it stashed away in 7 different boxes. The amethyst was allegedly taken from the Temple of Indra in Kanpur by a Bengal cavalryman by the name of Colonel W. Ferris, who then transported it to England. However, the malevolent character of the lovely violet stone soon became apparent when he practically lost everything he possessed and his health started to decline. He donated the stone to a buddy who later committed himself with his kid who received it experienced the same pain. Number 4. The Anguished Man. The Anguished Man is a painting created by an unknown artist. Owner Sean Robinson from Cumbria, England, claims to have inherited the painting from his grandmother, who told him that the artist who created the painting had mixed his own blood into the paint and then passed away by taking his own life soon after finishing the work. The painting had been characterized as being supposedly haunted. Robinson uploaded videos of the painting to his YouTube channel in 2010, in which he claims to have heard crying and moaning noises in his house, and to have once seen the figure of a man. In 2016, rights were acquired to make a film based on the story of the painting. Actually, back in 2015, there were rumors floating around that suggested that the painting was being sold to the highest bidder. Although it turned out to be false, who in their right mind would buy this thing? Look at the painting. That thing wouldn't be anywhere near my hands if I could do something about it. Number 3. The Gold of Telosa. The Gold of Telosa was never found, but was suspected to have remained in the custody of the Servili Capiones, who despite the total impoverishment of their patriarch became immensely wealthy. Despite this, the heirs of Capio also seemed to suffer from unlucky ends. During the Social War, Capio's son, also called Quintus Servilius Capio, was tricked by the Marsic general Quintus Poppaedius Silo and ambushed, which resulted in the destruction of his army and his own passing. Capio's grandson passed away young from an unnamed illness, while the last heir, Capio's great-grandson Marcus Junius Brutus, would undertake the assassination of Julius Caesar, an action which eventually led to the rise of Octavian and the Roman Empire and Brutus's passing at the Battle of Philippi. Perhaps as a consequence of these generational misfortunes, the sources make frequent allusions to the gold being cursed. The earliest, Strabo, says that due to having laid hands on the Gold of Telosa, Capio ended his life in misfortunes, while his near contemporary Pompeius Trogus even suggested that the defeat at Arezzo was punishment for the theft of the treasure. Number 2. Busby's Stoop Chair. The Busby Stoop chair, or the dead man's chair, is an allegedly haunted oak chair that was cursed by the butcher Thomas Busby before his execution by hanging in 1702 in North Yorkshire in the United Kingdom. Due to the many passings later attributed to the people sitting in this chair, the landlord donated it to the Thirsk Museum. Thomas Busby was arrested, tried, and condemned to execution after he ended his father-in-law Daniel Audie in 1702. Audie and Busby were running a coin counterfeiting business, as well as other criminal enterprises, and they argued about the businesses, which ended with Busby removing Audie from the picture. One variation of the story has Busby cursing the chair whilst on his way to his execution, whereas another says that he was drunk in the chair when he was arrested and cursed it then. Number 1. The Woman From Lem. If your initial thought upon viewing this is, what exactly am I looking at? The best response this author can provide you right now is, I don't know. But what I do know about this limestone statue is that it is a cursed thing. The artifact, which was made about 3500 BC and was discovered in Cyprus in 1878, has belonged to several families over the decades, but each one has been torn apart by passings. The founding family's 7 members all passed away within 6 years of ownership. Ivar Minucci, the second owner, bought it, but he and his family lost him after just 4 years. The statue finally disappeared for a very long time, but several family members perished when a new third family eventually claimed it. 2 of the remaining members, however, made a very judicious donation of the object to the Royal Scottish Museum.
Coming in at number 10, we have the Baker's wedding dress. This dress belonged to Anna Baker, who was a part of a wealthy family located in Altoona, Pennsylvania. They would reside in what is known as the Baker Mansion in 1849. Which is the same year Anna fell in love with a man and planned to get married, but her father Elias was like, no, not happening. It's believed he said that because he was a part of a different social class. He didn't want this marriage to happen so bad, he even got the man banished from town. Anna was heartbroken and begged her dad, but her dad just kept telling her no. She then went out of her way to buy her own dress like the one in the photo, and then showed her father, and he still was very adamant on saying no. So in spite of her father, she never married even till after his death. Fast forward all the way to 1922, all the members of the Baker family passed away, and the mansion had been bought by the Blair County Historical Society and turned into a museum. In the museum, guests reported seeing the glass of the dress being shaken violently. Others report seeing a woman apparition in a black dress staring into this display. Perhaps it's Anna from the grave, but we'll never know. Stealing our number 9 spot, we have the Woman From Lem statue. Often regarded as the goddess of death, this stone figurine was most likely a fertility statue. Most of its features wore away by the time it was uncovered in Lem, Cyprus in 1878. But that didn't stop it from becoming one of the most cursed objects in history. Lord Elephant, no, not an actual elephant. Well, he was the statue's first owner, and after a brief moment with the statue, he, along with 6 family members, would meet their demise. The same thing would happen to the figure's next owners, including the last Sir Alan Beaverbrook. He and his wife, along with his daughters, passed away shortly after taking possession of the statue. His remaining sons then donated the statue to a museum where the curator would also pass away shortly after touching it. Now the statue is kept behind a glass and nowhere close to being touched in the future again. Coming at number 8, we have the Digitic Box. The Digitic Box is a wine cabinet claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk. If you don't know what a Dybbuk is basically a malicious possessing spirit believed to be the lost soul of a person who passed away. This mahogany box was then auctioned off by eBay owner Kevin Manis. It was said that the box had origins to Jews in the Holocaust and would often radiate paranormal activity. It gained so much fame that it even inspired the 2012 horror film The Possession. Just like in the movie, the box contained a Dybbuk and if opened will release a spirit, causing a chain reaction of misfortune and illnesses. Surprisingly, at our number 7 spot, we have an elephant's foot. This is both a curse and a natural phenomenon, and you'll see why. On April 26, 1986, Unit 4 of the Chernobyl plant exploded during a test of the turbine's generation systems.
Some of them will not stop firing for 50,000 years.
The air above the plant was being poisoned and all the rods inside of the generator started to melt down through its protective container.
I'm pleased to report that the situation in Chernobyl is stable.
This would create a mass known as the elephant's foot. This radioactive blob was only discovered months after, and at this point it was estimated to weigh around 11 tons and is said to be the most dangerous object on Earth. You don't believe me? Well, here's a fun fact. Well, not really. But everyone who came into contact with the foot or took photos of it passed away shortly after.
You're dead.
To this day, there's no way to get rid of it, so they just built a protective cover over it, and it's just kind of laying there forever waiting for its next victims. At our number 6 spot, we have a cursed number. This wasn't exactly an object, but a phone number. But who knows, maybe the devil has a phone. The numbers 088888888 have been linked to so many deaths that has been suspended completely from being used. The phone number was created in 2001 by a Bulgarian mobile company called Mobitel. And this number was used by the owner and CEO of that company, Vladimir Grashnov. He ended up passing away of cancer that same year, but others suspect he was radioactively poisoned by a business rival. The number was then transferred to a mob boss in 2003. He then got shot and passed away while he was out at a regular dinner with his own family. Then the last person to have this number was a Bulgarian again, but he was a businessman who was then shot and passed away in 2005. Mobitel has now suspended the number from being used forever. So do you think the deaths are a mere coincidence, or is it proof of a cell phone curse? Right in the hump of our list, we have the Belfort Castle chairs. These haunted chairs located in Belfort Castle in Rhode Island are more commonly known as the salt chair / throne. This is because people used to store salt in this chair as it was a valuable form of trading back then. However, after many years of being in the same spot, visitors would begin to notice that whenever they would go near the chairs, their hands would start to feel cold and prickly. And if someone tries to sit in the chair, invisible resistance could be felt. In one strange case, a man was actually thrown out of the chair when he attempted to sit on it. Legends say the spirit of the owner is stuck inside the chair after he faced a terrible death, which was taking a spear right in the eye. I know, it's pretty gruesome. You probably heard this one, but at our number 4 spot, we have the Terracotta Army. This is a one-of-a-kind 2,200-year-old funerary art. The Terracotta Army is considered the most priceless archaeological discovery of modern times. However, for those 7 farmers who discovered it back in 1974, the warriors have proved more of a curse than a blessing. Soon after the discovery, their farmlands were claimed by the government and all of their homes were demolished to make way for exhibition halls and various gift shops. Upon the 7, one took their own life while the others passed away tragically since they couldn't even afford healthcare. All the way at our number 3 spot, we have the Cursed Mirror. Located in a historical home and former plantation, the Myrtles Plantation in St. Francisville, Louisiana is considered one of the most haunted places in America. There are many creepy urban legends surrounding the property, but the tale of the Cursed Mirror is probably one of the most famous. According to the legend, the former owner of the house, Sarah Woodruff, and her 2 daughters were poisoned by their slave and trapped inside the mirror. Visitors of the house reported seeing handprints, strange marks, and even figures dressed in an old-fashioned clothes lurking around the mirror. Coming at number 2, and you probably know this one, but we have Annabelle. I know you heard this one, but it's just too good of a cursed item to leave out of this list. For those who don't know, the doll's name is Annabelle, which comes from an alleged girl who possesses it. In the early 1970s, a young college student named Donna gave the doll to Ed and Lorraine Warren, a now famous pair of paranormal investigators. Originally, Donna sold the doll as a gift from her mother, who purchased it at an antique shop. Over time, Donna and her roommate quickly noticed that the doll had a tendency to move around the apartment and be in weird positions like upright and its leg crossed. After more paranormal activity, the girls contacted the Warrens, who decided the doll contained a demon straight out of hell. When an exorcism failed to do the trick, the Warrens agreed to move the doll to a secure location inside of a glass box at their museum in Connecticut. Now you can go to the museum and check this doll out. Coming in at our number 1 spot of our list, we have the Basano Vase. This vase is a pretty little thing and old too. Casted from silver in the 15th century and produced in a simple design, it is one of the most mysterious and elusive haunted objects of all time. Originally, the vase was a wedding present for an Italian bride who lived in a small village close to Napoli. On the woman's wedding night, she was found slowly passing away on the floor, and her hands were wrapped tightly around the silver vase, and in her dying breaths, the bride vowed to have her revenge and then passed away. Ever since, every single owner of the vase has passed away tragically and in mysterious ways. It was hidden away for some time until it finally got auctioned. Upon looking into the vase, there was a small note saying, quote, "Beware, this vase brings death," was found. It was sold 3 different times in different auctions, but every owner would pass away shortly after, which would pass along the vase from owner to owner. Eventually, it was buried, and now no one knows where it's located. Number 10, the Anticathedral Mechanism. The Anticathedral Mechanism is an ancient artifact that has long fascinated scientists and historians alike. It is believed to be the world's first mechanical computer, and it was discovered in a shipwreck off the Greek island of Anticathedra, where it has been buried under 45 meters of water. Today, the mechanism is housed at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens, where it continues to captivate visitors with its intricate design and advanced level of technology. Upon examining the mechanism, experts were amazed by the level of craftsmanship and sophistication it displayed. The device is made up of a box with dials on the outside and a complex assembly of gears mounted inside. It is estimated to be about as complex as an 18th century top-notch clock, despite being over 2,100 years old. In fact, the level of expertise and attention to detail seen in the mechanism's construction was not seen again in Europe until the development of mechanical astronomical clocks in the 14th century. But the real mystery of the Anticathedral mechanism lies in how it came to be. Based on what we know of ancient Greek technology at the time, it shouldn't even exist at all. There are no known writings or records of similar devices from the period of its creation, leading some to wonder if it may be from an advanced as yet undiscovered civilization. Whatever the cause may be, the Anticathedral mechanism remains a truly captivating and unexplained artifact that continues to puzzle experts to this day. Number 9, the London Hammer. The London Hammer is a small hammer that has been the subject of much debate and speculation among those who believe in ancient civilizations and advanced technology. And this is all because it's supposedly 400 million years old. Yeah, you heard that right. The hammer was found in London, Texas in 1936 by a couple who were out walking, and they noticed it sticking out of a rock. The rock in which the hammer was found is dated to be around 400 million years old, which has led some to believe that the hammer is evidence of an ancient civilization with advanced technology. And yes, it's only a hammer, so I don't know how advanced this could actually be. There are several theories about the London hammer and its possible origins. Some believe that it is a tool made by an ancient civilization, while others believe it is a modern tool that was somehow placed inside of the rock. There are also those who believe that the hammer is all just a big hoax, created in order to mislead people into believing in these ancient civilizations and advanced technology. Despite the many theories about this hammer, there is no conclusive evidence about its true origins. Other scientists have found that the hammer does contain unusual features that could have been created using modern technology, which leaves the questions of its origins up for debate. Number 8, the Disc of Sabu. The ancient Egyptian civilization is filled with wonders and mysteries that have puzzled historians and archaeologists for centuries. One such enigma is the so-called Disc of Sabu, which is a circular stone object that was discovered in 1936 by a British Egyptologist, Mr. Walter Brian Emery, in the tomb of Prince Sabu. Prince Sabu was the first dynasty governor and son of Pharaoh Enedjib. Measuring 610 millimeters in diameter and 104 millimeters in height, the artifact is made of metasiltstone and has 3 thin curving lobes around its periphery, as well as 3 biconvex holes separating the lobes from the rim. In the center of the disc is a thin tube that is roughly 10 centimeters in diameter. And despite numerous studies and theories, the true purpose of the disc remains a complete mystery. Some experts believe that it may have been used as a musical instrument, while others think it is a battery used for electrotherapy. The fact that the artifact was found in a royal tomb suggests it may have held some sort of special significance, but the exact nature of the significance remains unknown. Whatever its true purpose, the Disc of Sabu is a testament to the ingenuity and creativity of the ancient Egyptians, who were able to create objects that continue to intrigue us for thousands of years. Number 7, the Baghdad Battery. The Baghdad Battery is an ancient artifact that has puzzled archaeologists for years, dating back to the Parthian period, which is from 250 BC to 224 AD. This mysterious object consists of a clay jar with a copper cylinder and an iron rod inside. It has long been speculated that the Baghdad Battery was used for some kind of electrical device, perhaps even a primitive form of a battery. The theory that the Baghdad Battery was used as a source of electricity was first proposed in 1938 by William Koenig, the director of the National Museum of Iraq. Since then, various researchers have attempted to recreate the device in order to understand its true purpose. Some have suggested it may have been used for electrotherapy, while others believe that it may have been used as a galvanic cell to electroplate objects. Despite numerous attempts to recreate and understand the mystery of the Baghdad Battery, its true purpose still is unknown. The lack of any written history or documentation from the time period has made it difficult to determine exactly how the device was used. Number 6, the Voynich Manuscript. The Voynich Manuscript Manuscript is a mysterious document dating back to the 15th century that has confounded researchers for decades. Considered to be the world's most mysterious book, it is written in an unknown script by an unknown writer. As well, the book is written in an unknown language and filled with intricate drawings of plants, stars, and other seemingly unrelated illustrations. So the meaning and purpose of the manuscript has remained a mystery for a long time. Some suggest that the manuscript was written by medieval monks, while others believe it could be the work of an alchemist or a scientist. It was first discovered in 1912 by rare book dealer Wilfred M. Voynich, who believed it to be a coded message written by the famous scientist Roger Bacon. Since its discovery, numerous attempts have been made to decode the document, but none have been successful. Many believe that the text is written in a constructed language or code, and some have even suggested that it could be the example of extraterrestrial communication. Despite numerous theories and attempts at decoding, the Voynich Manuscript remains one of the world's most enduring mysteries. Its enigmatic illustrations and strange language continues to fascinate researchers and the general public alike, and has inspired numerous works of fiction and speculation ever since its discovery. In the hump of our list, we have the Tamil Bell. The Tamil Bell is a fascinating and mysterious ancient artifact that has intrigued experts for centuries. It was first discovered in the 19th century in the ruins of a temple in Tamil Nadu, India, and is made of a metal alloy that has not been identified. The bell is decorated with intricate carvings and inscription in an unknown language, and is thought to be around 2,000 years old. In 1870, the inscriptions were identified as Ancient Tamil, which is a language that hadn't been used for hundreds of years. The inscriptions were translated to the bell of the ship of Mahadin Baksh, indicating that the owner was a Muslim Tamil of great stature from a famous Indian shipping company. In 1940, the age of the Tamil bell was estimated to be 400 to 500 years old, dating back to the period between 1400 to 1500 AD. This has led some people to believe that there was outside contact with New Zealand hundreds of years ago before English Captain Thomas Cook arrived in 1769. However, there is little evidence to support this theory, and the true mystery of the Tamil bell still remains a mystery. Others believe it to be a religious artifact made by an ancient civilization, while others believe it to be a tool or device used for some unknown purpose. Number 4, the Bagon Pipes. The Bagon Pipes are a series of iron pipes that has been found in the Qinghai province of China near Mount Bagon. These pipes range in size from toothpicks to the size of a football field, and they're estimated to be around 150,000 years old. This is a pretty big deal because the area wasn't even inhabited by humans until around 30,000 years ago, according to many Chinese historians. So who built these pipes and for what purpose? That's the question that has been puzzling researchers for years. Some believe that they may have been built by an ancient civilization or even from extraterrestrial beings. The Chinese Academy of Social Sciences has not dismissed the possibility, with researcher Yang Ji stating that the pyramid located near the pipes may have been created by intelligent creatures. Other theories include the possibility that the pipes are the result of iron-rich magma forcing its way up through the Earth's fissures, or that they are simply fossilized tree roots that have accumulated over time. The odd thing is that the pipes have also been found to contain 8% of unidentified material, as well as the residue of radioactive material. The true mystery and origin of the Bagon Pipes remains a mystery, but it certainly is an intriguing and unexplained phenomena that continues to capture the attention and imagination of many. Number 3, the Pirie Reese Map. The Pirie Reese Map is a historical document that has garnered much attention and controversy over the years, more specifically for showing that Antarctica was ice-free. Created in the early 16th century by Ottoman Turkish admiral and cartographer Pirie Reese, the map is known for its detailed and accurate depiction of the coast and features of the New World. This included South America, the Caribbean, and parts of the east coast of North America. In addition to these features, the map also includes notes of the geography, climate, and indigenous people of the regions depicted. However, it is the depiction of the northern coast of Antarctica on the Pirie map that has sparked the most controversy. According to the map, the northern coast of Antarctica is shown as being ice-free, which some believe suggests that the continent was mapped before it was covered in ice. This idea has been met with skepticism, as there is no historical or scientific evidence to support it. In fact, geological evidence suggests that the latest date that the Queen Maud land in Antarctica could have been charted as an ice-free state is around 4000 BC. Whatever is the truth about the Pirie map, one thing is for certain: it continues to question everything we thought was true about Antarctica. Number 2, the Dropa Stones. In 1938, an expedition led by archaeologist Dr. Chipute in China made an intriguing discovery in a nearby cave. Buried under layers of dust, the team found hundreds of stone discs scattered throughout the cave. The discs were about 9 inches in diameter and had a circle cut into the center, and it featured an obvious spiral groove around it. Initially, there seemed to be nothing particularly special about the disc, but upon further examination, it became clear that they're eerily similar to phenograph records. It is believed that these stones are more than 10,000 years old. The spiral grooves on the disc turned out to be made of tiny hieroglyphs, and when these were studied and translated, it was revealed that the disc told the story of spaceships that had crashed into the mountains, piloted by people who referred to themselves as the Dropa. This interpretation was made by a Chinese researcher who announced its findings to the world. However, his announcement was met with ridicule from the scientific community, and this caused him to go into self-imposed exile in Japan. The Soviet magazine Sputnik later reported on an experiment in which the discs were placed on a special turntable and were observed to vibrate or hum in an unusual rhythm, as if an electrical charge was passing through them. Despite this, further research was not made public, and it is unclear if the Dropa stones still exist or if they're even real in the first place. Ernst Wegerer, an Austrian engineer, claims to have seen and photographed 2 of the stones, but they and the manager who allowed them to view them have since disappeared, adding to the mystery surrounding the artifact. Number 1, the Roman Dodecedron. The Roman Dodecedron is a mysteriously crafted metal object that has puzzled archaeologists for centuries. These 12-sided objects have been found at dozens of sites across Northern Europe, dating back to the 1st and 5th century CE. But their purpose still remains unknown. More than 100 of these dodecedrons have been discovered, ranging in size from about the size of a golf ball to slightly larger than a baseball. Each one is hollow and has 12 equally sized faces, each with a hole of varying diameter. Despite the obvious craftsmanship that went into these objects, there is no written documentation of them in historical sources. As a result, there has been many theories about the purpose of them. Some believe that they are used as a military banner ornament or some type of weapon, such as the head of a mace or a metal bullet for a handheld sling. However, these theories have been largely dismissed as the objects are too lightweight to be effective weapons. Others think that they may have been used for education or as a measuring tool for fabrics. One researcher even proposed that they may be used as a rangefinder by the Roman military.
Number 10, organs. A study done by George Mason University in 2019 revealed that you can actually purchase organs on the dark web. Here's what the research paper stated. Due to the scarcity of transplantable organs, patients must typically wait on long lists for many years to get a matching kidney. This scarcity has created an illicit marketplace for wealthy recipients to avoid long waiting times. Brokers arrange such organ transplants and collect most of the payment that is sometimes channeled to fund other illicit activities. In order to collect and disperse payments, they often resort to money laundering-like schemes of money transfers. As the low-cost internet arrives in some of the affected countries, social media and the dark web are used to illegally trade human organs. This paper presents a model to assess the risk of human organ trafficking in specific areas and shows methods and tools to discover digital traces of organ trafficking using publicly available tools. Number 9, social security numbers. After your social security number is plastered on the dark web, opening new accounts in your name isn't the only thing you have to worry about. Fraudsters can use your social security number and other personal information they find on the dark web to impersonate you and to gain access to your credit cards. Once someone gains access to your credit card, they can begin piling on the charges. If you're not closely monitoring your credit card activity, the charges can quickly get out of hand. Many companies offer credit monitoring plans that help combat credit card hacking. For example, AAA offers Protect My ID, a complimentary credit monitoring service for all AAA members. Signing up for a credit monitoring service can help you keep your identity safe, while giving you peace of mind. Another way to monitor your credit cards is to sign up for alerts. Most creditors will send you an alert when a purchase has been made or a payment is due. These notifications can help you keep track of your credit card transactions at all times. And plus, I think some of them send you notifications for fraudulent stuff. Number 8, credit cards. A dark web carding market named Biden Cash has released a massive dump of 1,221,551 credit cards to promote their marketplace, allowing anyone to download them for free to conduct financial fraud. Carding is the trafficking and use of credit cards stolen through point-of-sale malware, mage card attacks on websites, or information-stealing malware. Biden Cash is a stolen cards marketplace launched in June 2022, leaking a few thousand cards as a promotional move. Now, the market's operators decided to promote the site with a much more massive dump in the same fashion that the similar platform All World Cards did in August 2021. The threat actors announced the credit card dump on new URLs Biden Cash launched late last month in response to DDoS attacks, so it could be a way to promote the new shop domains. Number 7. 3D printed objects? That 3D printing could be used for a crime was already on many people's minds years ago. Law enforcement agencies have been learning about 3D printing for the past few decades in order to discover how it can be used for crime. Whereas the popular media has focused on 3D printing guns, actual criminality with 3D printing is being done in a different way. 3D printing guns are a bit of a self-invented, self-fulfilling prophecy by the media whereby enough attention will result in money and supporters being directed to increase the effort of 3D printing guns. 3D printing guns will only be an actual thing to worry about if the media has generated enough interest in it for it to be developed further. Even then, there are plenty of other tools with which one could manufacture guns. On the other hand, 3D printing is being used worldwide by criminals to aid in their crimes. The way through which this is being done is to hide things. Number 6. Netflix accounts. For as cheap as $1. There is no such thing as free Netflix accounts, unless you're using a stolen one. The darknet is host to numerous illegal activities, and a good chunk of it consists of selling hacked or compromised streaming accounts. Fortunately, securing the Netflix account so you don't unwittingly share it with someone is a straightforward process. The so-called passwordless revolution is here, with biometric authentication hailed as a hero. However, we're a long way from such a drastic change, and passwords will remain a constant in our lives for years. The same passwords are a bane to cybersecurity because of human nature. The passwords people most commonly use to secure their online account remain pretty much the same year after year. The infamous password top 10 list doesn't seem to change significantly, which tells us that people continue using weak, common, or easily guessable credentials. Number 5. Stolen goods. Online stolen goods are numerous, and are mainly goods that are easy to steal and sell. Such items include a mix of everyday consumer goods such as razors, deodorants, and denim pants. Organized crime groups are now involved in retail theft. They are driven by the ability to easily and almost anonymously sell the stolen goods online. Online platforms give criminals access to shoppers they would not otherwise reach and allow them to sell the stolen merchandise directly. Criminals can offer a stolen iPhone, for example, on eBay. Here they can bid and move it more quickly. Another common way to sell stolen goods online is called e-fencing. A fence is the one who buys stolen goods on purpose to resale later. In fact, marketplaces like eBay make fencing highly accessible. Also, dedicated websites offer customers to change stolen items to cash. Websites such as cash4gold.com make it easy for criminals to sell stolen jewelry. Criminals can steal jewelry they know is accepted by the website, easily sell it on the website, and get cash. Reselling stolen items is also carried out through auction sales sites and social media. Number 4. Silk Road. Silk Road was an online black market and the first modern darknet market. It was launched in 2011 by its American founder Ross Ulbricht under the pseudonym Dread Pirate Roberts. As part of the dark web, Silk Road operated as a hidden service on the Tor network, allowing users to buy and sell products and services between each other anonymously. All transactions were conducted with Bitcoin, a cryptocurrency which aided in protecting user identities. The website was known for its illegal substance marketplace, among other illegal and legal product listing. In October 2013, the Federal Bureau of Investigation shut down Silk Road and arrested Ulbricht. Silk Road 2.0 came online a couple months ago, run by former site administrators, but was shut down the following year as part of Operation Onimus. In 2015, Ulbricht was convicted in federal court for multiple charges relating to operating Silk Road and was given 2 life sentences without possibility of parole. Number 3. Uranium. On a well-hidden corner of the internet, a user going by the name of FRIM has a question. Ever wanted to start your own reactor or build nukes? Well, this is probably the only missing component you needed and couldn't get until now. The missing component FRIM promises is a small quantity of uranium ore. on sale for 0.2549 bitcoins or a large sum of money. FRIM is selling uranium on Evolution, which is currently the largest of the so-called darknet marketplaces on the internet, where enterprising vendors offer everything from substances to weapons to stolen credit card numbers. The markets tend to have a short shelf life, and the first and most well-known, Silk Road, was shut down by the FBI. Its successor, Silk Road 2.0, was seized a couple months ago. Frim knows this. Who knows how long Evolution will last? He/she asks at the end of the uranium listing. That's why you need to order lots of uranium now so you don't miss out on your dreams to threaten the UN with nukes in your lifetime. Winky face. That's a bit grim, Frim. Number 2, fake degrees. The market for fake diplomas is a booming one. 6Gil has identified multiple vendors selling degrees and accreditation that seemingly looks legitimate. One selling a fake London Metropolitan University diploma proudly boasts about the quality of the paper and the embossed seal, and how it's the identical size to the original. The vendor states that it is perfect to be used at places where they just do cursory inspection, where they just look at the seal and appearance of the degree itself without doing any cursory checks. Perhaps what is most striking is the diversity of fake degrees available. While there are some from prestigious institutions like Oxford University, Cambridge University, and Harvard, the majority are from ordinary schools, like Liverpool John Moores University, Middlesex University, and the University of Northern Iowa. Number 1, Uber accounts. At least 2 vendors on the dark web marketplace named Alphabay are allegedly selling Uber accounts. The accounts are said to let buyers order trips using whatever payment method attached to the accounts, while also providing them with the full trip history, email addresses, phone numbers, and even location information of people's home and work address stored on the accounts. The price for such an account is said to be as low as $1, but it could get to $5, a price that won't even get you around the block with a taxi. One of the sellers is said to have sold over 100 accounts to other buyers, but a lot more accounts are estimated to have been sold by now. We investigated and found no evidence of a breach, an Uber spokesperson told The Verge. Attempting to fraudulently access or sell accounts is illegal, and we notified the authorities about this report. This is a good opportunity to remind people to use strong and unique usernames and passwords, and to avoid reusing the same credentials across multiple sites and services. The method used to acquire the accounts is not clear yet, but this comes after Uber disclosed the information about 50,000 of its drivers had been accessed by a third party in May. The latter might indicate that a security breach might have been found in the company system and exploited to get access to the user's account credentials.